Nebraska is trying to land one of the best 2026 recruiting classes in all of college football. And in order to do that, the Huskers have to lock down the Midwest and the surrounding states. So in today's video, I'm going to go over the top Midwest targets that Nebraska is going after, a bunch of very high 4-star prospects, and even some borderline 5-star guys. We're going to go over every single one of these players, who they are, what they bring to the table, their interest in Nebraska, and everything else you need to know. So really quick, massive recruiting update. Hey, if you're having a good day, I know I am, hit that like button. And also, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan, you're unsubscribed, what are you waiting for? It would help me a lot. Please hit that subscribe button for recruiting updates just like this, practice updates, transfer portal updates, and so much more. We post daily Husker football content. Please be a part of it. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get into it. Going over the top Midwest targets that Nebraska is going after. We're going to go by this state by state. And I want to talk about one of our rival states over there to the east, Iowa, first. The top prospects that we're going after in the state of Iowa. Nebraska's had a lot of success in this state over the past couple years, snagging some of their best players. They're trying to do it once again with the number one player in Iowa, according to 24/7 Sports Composite. This is Jaden McGregory. Now, I'm a big Jaden McGregory guy. 6'2", 180 pounds. He plays primarily safety, but he has experience playing corner. He can play that rover spot for Nebraska. He can play in the box. And when you watch this guy on film, he has phenomenal speed, explosiveness, ball skills. He's a hard hitter. He's a winner there at Valley High School. He is just an incredible player, and I believe he's honestly a little bit under-recruited. I mean, you look at this offer list, like, it's good, and he just picked up a Georgia offer, which is incredibly impressive. But there should be offers here from Bama. There should be offers here from Ohio State. Like, Jaden McGregory is a heck of a player. And as of right now, I'd say Nebraska is the favorite to land this guy. Now, Iowa's in the mix here, as you'd imagine. Minnesota's in the mix here. Some other big-time schools. But I really like Jaden McGregory. Nebraska's had him on multiple visits time and time again. He had a strong connection with Evan Cooper, our past Nebraska defensive backs coach. Now, hopefully Addison Williams is trying to do that again. But I really like Jaden McGregory as a prospect, man. And this is just one of those guys who would fit this defense. He's a flexible player. He's a utility knife. He's the best player in Iowa. Nebraska trying to get him here. Jaden McGregory is the first guy we're going after. There's another notable player in Iowa Nebraska has really tried to lock down. And this is Kason Thomas, who was recently on a visit for Elite Junior Day a couple days ago. Linebacker out of Bishop Heelan Catholic in Sioux City, which is right on the border between Iowa and Nebraska. Kason Thomas, very flexible linebacker, can play outside, can play inside, can rush the passer. 6'2", 200 pounds, good measurables on him, pretty good speed. Like Kason Thomas, a lot as a prospect, just a standard, Midwestern linebacker who can make plays. Man, I really, really like this prospect. Now, of all the schools who are in mix, I'd say Iowa is the favorite, as you'd imagine. That's just one of my viewers goes to this high school and he was telling me, he was updating me, he was saying, yeah, Iowa's the favorite here, but Nebraska, absolutely the mix. Iowa State visited him recently. So those are the schools here with Kason Thomas, but I like this player, man. Just, again, very versatile. Nebraska just needs a guy like that. He's a good tackler who's going to come here with the right mindset and has some good measurables on him, too. So those are the Iowa prospects that Nebraska is going after. Let's go to the Western state to Nebraska that is surrounding the Husker, or that is bordering the Husker state, and that is Colorado. What are the top players that Nebraska is going after in Colorado? First things first, let's talk about the tight end position. The number one player in that state, Camden Jensen. Nebraska just recently made his top 7 schools. He's took a couple visits to Lincoln. I like Camden Jensen a lot as a tight end. Now, the first thing that pops off to you is he's 6'6", right? He's tall. We need that at that spot, but he's a good blocker, right? Nebraska's going after a lot of good vertical threat tight ends, but he is a really, really good blocking tight end, man. But he can catch passes as well, really good hands. He got some sneaky athleticism on him, sneaky speed, and a lot of notable schools are going after him. Again, he's a 4-star prospect, as you'd imagine, but you got Mizzou here. You got Florida in here. North Carolina, Texas A&M. That's a really good mix for a Midwestern tight end. Like, they got some interesting schools here. UCLA, Washington, right? That's a very interesting top 7. But Nebraska made the cut here. They're going to continue to recruit him. But I like him. I like his height. And, man, he's a guy who can block, do just about everything. So, Camden Jensen, That's the first player in Colorado. Nebraska has pursued him, just made his top 7. Then you got Deacon Schmidt here, who is a 4-star offensive lineman according to On3 and I believe Rivals. He's only a 3-star according to 24/7. But Nebraska recently also made his top schools list. 6'5", 310 pounds. He can play guard. I actually like him at center. Like we could get a center here with Deacon Schmidt. I mean, he got good measurables. He's really good in the running game. He can pull. He had a lot of pancakes last year for his high school team. So, like Deacon Schmidt as a lot of player, Nebraska's got some good offensive linemen from that Colorado State over the past couple of years. Let's see if they can do it again with Deacon Schmidt. I'd say Nebraska right now is the odds-on favorite to land him. Man, you got to land some of these corn-fed Midwest boys in those trenches department. So Nebraska already has a good head start here. Deacon Schmidt, I imagine they're the favorite. Some other notable offers, you got a good offer list, right? Don't look at the rankings when you evaluate these players. Look at the offer list. Like if Alabama, Georgia's offering somebody, it means they're a pretty darn good player. Deacon Schmidt, like him a lot. Nebraska right now is the favorite. One other guy I want to talk about is Brett Coljoy. Now, technically, he goes to IMG Academy, which is in Florida, but he's originally from Colorado, so he's technically a Midwestern recruit, so we're going to talk about him. 6'5", 310 pounds, another guard. Nebraska right now just made his top list. This is a 4-star player. Once again, a lot of good schools here. Georgia, Miami, Tennessee, but Nebraska in the mix as well. Let's see if they can stay in here. Very, very good player. And he's playing against the best talent there at IMG Academy, which is going to make him a better player in return. So those are the Colorado players. It's actually a really good Colorado class for the first time in a long time. And Nebraska trying to double down. They've built a lot of good connections. They got Tanner Turk, who was the best player in last year's class in Colorado, and a couple other in the past. So that is the Colorado class. Let's go to South Dakota, to the north right now. And this was the number 1 player that Nebraska wanted in South Dakota, and he just committed to Iowa in late January. Now, unfortunate news here. Again, I really, really like Hudson Parliament as a player. Again, I've talked about him extensively and how good he is. Unfortunate that Nebraska could not land him. I will say it's not over for Hudson Parliament, but man, it really, really hurts that the Huskers could not lock him down because he's a heck of a player. Then, of course, the other South Dakota guy is Davion Bonwell-Whitty. The Huskers already locked him down, so you feel good about that. He's the second-ranked player in that state. Then, talking about some of the other states that Nebraska is going after. North Dakota, there are none, unfortunately. Now, let's go to Minnesota. There's really only one recruit that Nebraska wants in Minnesota, and this is Roman Voss. This is a very, very high-quality player, very high 4-star guy, 6'4", 210 pounds, primarily an edge rusher, but can play in the secondary, can play linebacker. Like you think of a utility knife, that's what Roman Voss is. Now, Nebraska, probably not one of the top 2 schools right now. I'd say Minnesota, Iowa are the 2 schools right there that want him the most, but he took a visit to Nebraska late last fall. I'd say Nebraska is probably the 3rd or 4th school on his pecking order, but if you can come on a visit this spring or this fall, feel kind of good about where the Huskers stand with him. But he's going to stay in the Midwest. Like this player a lot, very versatile. Now, going to Illinois really quickly here, the last state we'll talk about. We already talked about Missouri. Missouri's not really a Midwestern state. So, Mikhail Blade, of course, recently came on a visit. Very versatile, edge rusher, good jump on the line of scrimmage, very athletic. A lot of good offers here. Notre Dame's in here, Michigan's in here, but Nebraska probably in his top 5. Like Mikhail Blade a lot as a player. Man, the coaching staff likes him too, so hopefully we can land him, but hopefully he comes on an official visit in the offseason months. Then Clyde Mapuma, Nebraska right now is the favorite to land this guy, offensive tackle out of Chicago, Illinois. Just a dynamic run-blocking offensive tackle, 6'7", good measurables, good wingspan. A lot of very good offers in here, but Nebraska remains alone at the top. Let's see if they can get his commitment. So those are pretty much all the Midwestern players that Nebraska is going after. Again, just talking a little bit about Kansas. Nebraska's really wanted to recruit Kansas. They missed out on pretty much everybody they wanted, right? They wanted James Dunnigan, committed to Kansas. They missed out on Kansas Snyder, committed to Kansas. Missed on Hunter Higgins, who I wanted badly, committed to Kansas. So Kansas did a really good job locking down their own state, unfortunately. So pretty much out of play for Nebraska to land anybody out of that state. All right, guys, that's the update around the Midwestern prospects Nebraska is going after. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hey, if you made this far on the video, you know what to do. Hit the like button and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about the top Midwestern players that Nebraska is going after. Who do you want the most? I will absolutely want to hear what you have to say in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far on the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go Big Red, go Met Rhule. See you in the next one.